December the 7th. Oh, crumbs. Winston spent the rest of the day hiding out in Gaspod's bed. Well, hiding out is perhaps the wrong phrase. The bed was incredibly luxurious, and so, feeling very tired from his long night journey into Paris, Winston snuggled down among the velvets and silks and snored for the rest of the day. At supper time, Gaspard shared his dinner with his friend, and Winston feasted on the most delicious food freshly cooked by Gaspard's people. Gaspard, however, was far too excited to concentrate on the food. Winston couldn't help but grin as he listened to Gaspard getting giddier and giddier as he planned how to break out of the apartment and into the patisserie downstairs later that night. "This is my adventuring dream," Gaspard panted, as his lilac curls bounced about in anticipation. Winston was also all of a jiggle at the thought of meeting the Singing Mouse and solving the very curious mystery in which he found himself mixed up. Eventually, night fell and Gaspard's people went to bed. Gaspard, quivering with excitement, tiptoed down the hall with Winston on his back, clinging to the poodle's soft, curly fur. Gaspard leapt up and opened the door before sneaking downstairs into the street. Getting into the patisserie was a little trickier. Winston had to scamper all around its walls, crunching through the icy snow to see if he could find a way in. Gaspard kept watch, convinced that at any moment a gang of international spies or bandits would arrive. Thankfully they didn't, and soon Winston had found a solution. At the back of the bakery, a small window had been left a little open to let some of the heat from the ovens escape. The two adventurers managed to wiggle their way through, dropping with a bit of a bump onto the floor. Inside all was dark, but the light from the street lamp outside lent a warm, dim glow to the shop as Gaspard and Winston tiptoed about. The counter was full of the most delectable-looking treats. Caramel-covered, cream-filled pastry balls were piled into tall Christmas tree shapes, and chocolate Yule logs sprinkled with ice and sugar snow sat next to rows of jewel-coloured macaroons that beckoned to be nibbled. Winston walked around, carefully sniffing. The smells were delicious. None of them matched the scent from his memories, but at that particular moment it didn't matter. The enticing sugary smell of the cakes danced about his whiskers, making him forget why he was there. Luckily, Gaspard hadn't forgotten. He dashed about, searching and squinting into every dark corner. "There isn't anyone here," he said eventually, but the words were hardly out of his mouth when one of his long lilac ears suddenly arched upwards like a submarine periscope. "Wait a moment. There it is again," he gasped. He clonked his head to the floor and listened. "Every night this past week I have been hearing a strange noise. It's coming from down there." His eyes were wide and wild. "There is something under here," he whispered. "You don't think it's bandits, do you?" Winston didn't think the bandits crept about under the floorboards of cake shops, but he lowered his ear to the floor to listen anyway. His ear wiggled. Gaspard was right. There was someone moving under there. Together, Gaspard and Winston followed the noise through the quiet shop to behind the counter and watched in amazement as one of the floorboards lifted. Out popped a mouse carrying a large box wrapped with a bow. For a moment, everyone stood frozen, just looking at each other. Then Gaspard leapt into action. "Oh, crumbs!" he cried. "Are you a bandit?" The mouse, very chic in her little scarf and beret, looked offended. "Moi? A bandit?" she sniffed. "The very idea. I am Coco Gâteau, Madam President of the Guild of Mouse Bakers, Paris branch." She eyeballed Winston. "Are you here for the party?" Winston shook his head. I'm looking for someone," he explained to Coco what had brought him to Paris. He knew she wasn't the mouse he was looking for because his heart wasn't thumping in his chest, but he asked Coco if she knew other bakery mice. "Well," said Coco, "as it so happens, I do know rather a lot of them. There are hundreds and hundreds of us in the city." Hundreds and hundreds of other bakery mice? Winston didn't know if he was delighted by this news or disappointed. How would he ever find the mysterious mouse before Christmas Eve if he had all those bakeries to investigate? It was only a few days away, and he still had to get home to Oliver. "Where will I start?" he asked, bewildered. Coco grinned, her face crinkling up with joy. "You are in luck, mon chéri. Tonight is the night of la grande soirée de cerise, the great mouse party. The night each Christmas when we all come together from across Paris, bringing our speciality cake with us." She paused to gesture to the box she was carrying. "And we eat and celebrate and dance. It is a wonderful evening, and it is happening here tonight." Winston couldn't believe it. He felt jingly and jangly with excitement. "Can I come with you?" he cried. "And can my friend Gaspard come too?" He didn't want Gaspard to miss out on the fun. Coco looked at Gaspard very carefully. "Well," she said, "it really is meant to be only for mice." "Oh," said Gaspard, "I'm not a mouse, but I do like cheese." He waggled his eyebrows encouragingly. "Ah, perfect," said Coco decisively. "You are an honorary mouse for the evening. Now quickly, both of you, follow me. The party is about to begin."